Hello, this is the week 1 presentation for IS219. I did want to go over the new makeup policy. I put an announcement. There's also the entire thing is listed in the document is in the announcement that I posted, and it's also in where the syllabus is. So basically, late work is not accepted. There are exceptions, rare occasions where exceptions can be made, such as health problems, documented health problems, family emergency, jury duty, military reserve service obligations, weather such as a hurricane or a tornado knocking out the power, something like that. Discussion posts are not part of that though, because they're tied to your attendance records and cannot be turned in late under any circumstances. So make sure you get those in. Technology issues are not considered extenuating circumstances, so you're encouraged to begin your work early in the week. The reading for this week is chapters 1 and 2. The discussion, you're to, in your own words, describe the difference between data and information, and also describe what a DBMS is and what purpose it serves. The initial post should be at least 100 words. It's due Wednesday at 11:59 p.m. Remember, you're required at least to have at least one APA reference in your initial post. 2 replies to others due on Sunday at 11:59 p.m. No discussions allowed after the week is over. I did want to go over the APA format. I use the HU APA tip sheet. So for a book, this is the standard format. So this is what our book format would be. If it's an ebook, this is the format you would use. For a website with an author, you start with the author, so be sure you check to see if there's an author and a date. Then the title, then the retrieved from URL. If there's no author, you use the page title, then the date of publication or ND if no date, and then the URL, retrieved on date from URL. Note you are looking for the page title, not the site title, and it's usually shown on the tab. The full date is given as year, month, day if provided, and you are looking for the date the article was posted or updated, not the site copyright. So if all you see is the copyright date, you would put ND. The week 1 has 2 assignments. The first assignment, you're to answer the 10 questions. Cite your sources even if you use the textbook. It's due Sunday by 11:59 p.m. Corrections can be made for 2 weeks after the due date. Assignment 2, you're to install Oracle Database Express and take a screenshot of the DBMS. It's due Sunday by 11:59 p.m. Corrections can be made for 2 weeks after the due date. So if you go to the website, this is what you'll find. There are 2 downloads for Windows. Choose whether you have 64 or 32, but you have to accept the license agreement, and then you are directed to create an Oracle account. And if you use Herzing email, that makes it a little easier. Once the download is finished, you run the setup. So you have to unzip it and then you run. Well, it gives you a file, and you have to, it's a zip file, and you have to unzip it, and then you're going to run the setup as administrator by right-clicking on it. The installation continued after you install. Click on Getting Started. It's either going to be a shortcut on your desktop or it's going to be in the Oracle Database 11G Express folder. When you do that, it asks for a username and password, and you're going to use system to get in there to begin with. You put in system and then create a password. And I just use the same password as that for my logon. when I create it later. This will bring you to the web page, and you will then click on Application Express. Now if you get an error that says Windows cannot find the address, the URL, then you have to edit the Getting Started file, and you'll go to find that file in your Oracle exe app, Oracle product 11.2.0 server, and so on, and you're going to right click on the Getting Started file, and you're going to change where it says HTTP port, you're going to put 8080 in there. If you have a different port, then you're going to put that port number in there, but this is typical of what it is. Once you've done that, then you should be able to go to get to the use the starting file. Once you've logged on as the system, then you can create your workspace, which is the database username. I just did my name in all caps. That's up to you. Then you create your username. So for instance, I use Dita first, and then I use the same password I created for system here, so that I don't have to worry about being two. Then once you log in, you can see how it looks very similar to the Oracle Application Express that you might have used before. It does have application builder, SQL workshop, team development, so that's pretty much the same. So if we go to, this is the it's basically like the other Oracle Express, the only other one you don't have to do any installation, it's all online. So if you wanted to create a your database, you would need to create your title, your tables. You can do that through Utilities, Data Workshop, and then if you put the data in a spreadsheet or a text file, then you can load it up, and that would be how you would do that. So now in the week 1 folder, it lists the final project which is due in week 7. It's listed here so that you can get started on it. So what you have to do is decide what kind of database you want to have. There's an example given of a help desk system, but maybe you want a customer order system or a school database. That's up to you. Then you have to decide what tables. You're going to do a proposal document. You can use in your proposal document, explain what database you are doing and what tables you're going to create and that thing. And like I said, you can create the tables to get started. If you work on it each week, then by the time you get to week 7, you won't have that much left to do. Now to study for quiz 1, you want to know what DBMS is. That's on page 2. A DBMS can be used to build many different types of databases. Know what those different types are. That's on pages 8 and 9. Spreadsheets are not as efficient as a database. Database design is a vital step in the process of creating a database. It is important to back up a database often. Know the components of a database system environment. That's on page 22. Know the difference between data and information. That's on page 30. Know the correct syntax for the select statement. That's on page 13. And that's all I have for this week. If you have any questions, please let me know.